back to That Cyber Guy. Welcome to our weekly fresh IT video. So today we are going to discuss DNS, domain name system. So DNS translates domain names into IP address, so web browsers can load resources from the internet to you. So DNS eliminates the needs for you to memorize IP addresses. So imagine that without the DNS, you will need to memorize IP addresses instead of a domain name. For example, if I want to go to google.com, I will need to memorize 142.250.217.238 to go to Google, just to go to google.com, as you can see. So 41 years ago, thankfully to Paul Moka-Petris, an American scientist that created the DNS. Now we don't have to just memorize numbers, so we can just simply type the domain name.
Learn cybersecurity in no time.
So DNS, also known as the address book of the internet. So it is easier for humans to remember names than a bunch of numbers. In the computer world, computers do not remember names but numbers. Computers speak to other computers by numbers. That's why computers, they understand binaries, which are a bunch of numbers like zeros and ones. So your phone number, your tablet, your home cameras, they communicate via numbers, also known as IP addresses. So how did DNS work? When you register a domain name for a website, it is handled by a registrar accredited by the non-profit organization named ICANN, ICANN, or the Internet Corporation for assigned names and numbers. A record is created to store and maintain by a registrar operator who store your DNS settings and propagate them across all the DNS across the world. Now, as a registrant, you'll be assigned to a zone file where you can configure the settings of your DNS or your domain name. So every zone has a star of authority, or SOA, record that tells all the DNS who oversees, who owns that domain name. For example, if I open my Kali Linux, give me a second, please. And if I want to know who hosted, who manages, a website, like for example, thatcyberguy.com, I can say Whois thatcyberguy.com, and then you're gonna see a bunch of information that that is just related to to that cyber guy. So the most important is the A record. So the A record maps your domain and your subdomain to the IP address of its host. So now, when you type a URL into a web browser, it makes a DNS query to determine which unique IP address is associated with that hostname. To save time, the DNS will first try to find the information into the system cache or the local browser. Now, if the cache is empty, DNS look at the IP address phonebook, which is the responsibility of the recursive DNS server. As you may know, recursive is a procedure that is repeated, so the recursive server performs multiple requests to other servers, starting with the root name server. The root server stores data about the top domain names like .org, .ca, .uk, .net, etc. From there, the client side of the DNS called the DNS resolver makes a request which will respond with the IP address of the authoritative name server, which is the final step that contains the requested website IP address that's sent back to you and cache it or save it for future use. Now, if you wanna see, how can you find your DNS server? If we go back, you can type CMD into a Windows machine, and then I wanna change the color. Okay. Now, if you type ipconfig /all, so you can actually hit enter, and then see the information about the DNS server. You see a bunch of information. Let's see here, DNS server information. Now, as a conclusion, DNS translates domain name into IP addresses, so web browsers can load the resources from the internet fast. So DNS eliminates the need for you to memorize the IP addresses. You cannot imagine how painful that will be to just memorize every IP addresses of any website that you want to visit. Now, if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to add them into the section below. And then make sure that you like, subscribe, and share to stay up to date with the latest cybersecurity tools, trends, and skills. Thank you.